Would I Lie to You at Christmas tomorrow night. Festive fibbers include Tom Courtenay, Richard Osman, Chris Kamara and Sarah Pascoe at 8:30. But right now on BBC One and Later Than Billed, a handbag.
Welcome to Have I Got News For You? I'm Gary Lineker. In the news this week, at the World Curling Championships in Canada, one member of the Scottish team regrets forgetting to pack his stone. There's evidence that just a month after the US election, the shock of her defeat has really taken its toll on Hillary Clinton. There's irritation for one customer as not only is their pizza half an hour late, but all the olives have rolled off. And in Devon, there's a good turnout for the opening day of the Dartmoor Lido. On Ian's team tonight is a stand-up comedian whose recent show included a rant about how much he hates Twitter and footballers. So that's 2 points to Paul Merton's team. Welcome, John Richardson. And with Paul tonight, we were due to have the former Education Secretary, Nicky Morgan. But because of a falling out with Downing Street over Theresa May's £1,000 leather trousers, she's decided not to come. So in her place, please welcome Nicky Morgan's £1,000 leather handbag.
So that bag is worth £1,000, is it?
Not at the moment. It's doing very little for its money. I'm hoping that it will justify its appearance fee by the end of the programme.
And we start with the bigger stories of the week. John, take a look at this.
Well, that's brown trouser time, particularly for her. That's Nicky Morgan. That's the lady in red.
Oh, dear.
This is a row between three women about a pair of leather trousers.
Boris Johnson's a woman. Why didn't we start with that story? I missed that.
This is the major issue of the day, and I think it's appropriate with a panel with four men and a handbag that we go straight in on the clothes.
A bit sexist, isn't it, handbag?
It's been optimistically given a mic. Do you see, just here? And let's face it, so far it's doing better than some of the people I've been sitting next to recently.
It did start with an interview in the Sunday Times. She was relaxing at home, as you do, in a pair of brown leather trousers. I do, always.
So what did Nicky Morgan say about the trousers?
They were unsuitable, inappropriate, a bit lavish. Frankly hideous, Tommy.
They look like she's put on chocolate underwear and then sat by the fire. I don't mind her spending £1,000 on a pair of trousers if she wants to waste her money, but surely there's a better pair of £1,000 trousers than that.
With a better colour, hasn't it, at least?
And it's Amanda Wakely.
Is it?
Yeah.
Who's
who
that?
I get my trousers from.
Do you? They're very tight, aren't they? I mean, why wouldn't you flaunt it if you've got it? But
people say that nothing would have been said if, say, Cameron had been wearing leather trousers.
Oh, I think they would.
On the stage. And I feel I might have had something to say. Where did the bag come in?
Nicky Morgan said, I've never spent £1,000 on anything. And then someone said, what about that handbag?
Yes, what she actually said was, I've never spent that much on anything apart from my wedding dress. My barometer is always, how am I going to explain this in Loughborough Market?
Which must be a troubling mantra. Nicky Morgan said, I've never spent £1,000 on anything, which I don't know where she lives, but... under a bridge somewhere to please her constituents.
I think that was the point, wasn't it? That these are, in a time of austerity, it's, I don't know, it's inconsiderate of the Prime Minister to wear very expensive brown leather trousers. That was the point.
And shoes as well, wasn't it? And a top. She had all clothes on. She's the Prime Minister and her husband's an investment banker. Like, if she was wearing, like, two-striped tracksuit bottoms off the market, it would look like she was taking the piss, wouldn't it?
What she should have done was, like, pose with the leather trousers on a sofa where clearly the leather trousers had been cut out from the sofa. Recycling, just about managing.
Exactly. Anyway, Nicky Morgan made the mistake of commenting on the Prime Minister's trousers. And so the Prime Minister's assistant, Fiona Hill, got very cross and banned her from a meeting. And then it got even more unpleasant.
How so? This is great.
I'm the only one who's followed this, but I am great. She sent a letter to an MP called Alistair Burt, who's a friend of Nicky Morgan, saying, don't bring that woman to this meeting. And then Nicky Morgan said, well, actually, as a woman, I'm not brought to meetings by men. And then Fiona Hill sent her a message saying, well, he did bring you, so there. That's a text from the Prime Minister's assistant. So there.
They're calling it Trousergate, aren't they? Which is just one gate too many, isn't it? Sounds like a disgusting term for your anus, I think. Give me 5 minutes, I'm in a bit of trouble with my Trousergate.
Anyway, it was meant to be hypocritical, but that... Oh, blimey.
Oh, hello.
Hang on. Hello? No, she's not here at the moment. No, we're recording it now. Yeah. Gary Lineker. Yeah, I know, yeah. No, you're thinking of Emperor Hirohito. That's not him. No, that's Elvis Presley. Gary Lineker. Yeah, right. Yeah, you can smell it on his breath, yeah. Wrong number.
Nicky Morgan belongs to a new exclusive group of MPs. Anyone know what that is?
What, who'd been excluded from meetings?
It's a group of 40 rebel Tories who are fighting for a soft Brexit inside the single market. They're being called the New Bastards. As opposed, of course, to John Major's original Bastards. Is anyone else finding it confusing that a group of MPs called Bastards doesn't include Ian Duncan Smith? However, one aide told the Sunday Times they're more bunglers than bastards. And with that in mind, shall we play a game of bungler or bastard?
Yes!
Sorry, we've not got time. Why might it not be...
I'm given a handbag as a guest. I'm promised bungalow or bugler or whatever it is. I'm ready with my answers. I come up with a theme tune and we're told we're not doing it.
It's poor.
Really poor.
It's poor. Why might it not be the new bastards that Theresa needs to worry about?
The old bastards haven't retired.
There's even more people on the right who are after her than there are on the left. And there's some in the middle. In fact, everyone's after her.
Apparently, Britain's ambassador to the EU, Sir Ivan Rogers, has privately told the government a new trade deal might take 10 years to finalise and might then still fail anyway if the other 27 member states don't individually approve it. Theresa May has been in Brussels meeting other EU leaders. Did she receive a warm welcome?
No.
No, she wouldn't, would she?
No.
Not really.
They're having their Christmas party, and she wasn't invited.
No.
Well, there was an awkward bit where there's footage of them all shaking hands and then they don't... She's just sort of on her own and I just...
She has to go and have a pizza.
She had to...
Go and have a pizza, and they all have this enormous dinner together. And she's on her own.
Ah, the pizza delivery boy fell off his bike as well. The bad news about that is when one of them falls off, all the rest fall over as well.
That's a really pathetic round of applause. You don't get many domino jokes that good.
No, my mistake was in waiting 20 minutes to make it. But if I'd have waited more than half an hour, I'd have given you that joke for free.
I can't see me topping that. She was invited to attend a dinner with EU leaders, and we can see here how warmly she's been received by them. This is the great Remain Leave debate. Should Theresa May remain wearing those trousers or leave them in the wardrobe? In the same way that Boris Johnson's name is abbreviated to Bojo, Nicky Morgan is known in Westminster as Nemo. Well, we certainly couldn't find her when she was meant to be on the show this week. Meanwhile, Britain's ambassador to the EU, Sir Ivan Rogers, has announced that a Brexit deal could take 10 years. That's not fair. Most of the people who voted for it will be dead by then.
Young people applauding.
Responding to claims that Brexit could take 10 years, Theresa May said, "We don't recognise this timetable," a problem she shares with Southern Rail commuters. Paul and Handbag, take a look at this.
OK. Right, yeah, so this is the Evening News, printed about 1977. Oh, trains are getting smaller and train drivers are getting bigger. That's Chris Grayling, Transport Secretary. Everybody's dressed the same so he doesn't look an idiot. That looks like somebody tearing their hair out. Hairdressers on strike. Dogs are going to become postmen. This is about strikes.
Yes, this is a new wave of strikes by post and rail workers running up to Christmas. So are we going back to the 70s?
I don't suppose
No,
we
if
are.
you look at the 70s timetables, they're better than Southern Rail's. Southern Rail have been utterly useless for as long as anyone can remember. And you know the deal? I'm slightly more exercised about this than the trousers. The deal is that when these strikes take place, the passengers who don't get on the trains are compensated by the taxpayer, and the taxpayer is compensating and paying for the operating company. The only people making money are the operating company, and they're saying, we don't care if their passengers on board, it's cheaper, we make more money. That's a deal that this government struck. It's not funny, it's just really annoying.
Do you get this train, then? Is that why you're so angry?
I'm angry with all trains. I commuted for about 15 years, and they were all useless.
It's a long journey.
Not on Southern, that's quick. But it's essentially, I mean, it's a put-up job to have a fight in order to get rid of conductors. Yeah. And then they'll get rid of drivers. And they've already got rid of trains, so they're way ahead.
What I don't understand is all the people you see on the train platform who are sort of, they film them and they say, oh, I mean, I can't get to work now. But everyone I've ever met hates going to work. There's nothing better than a day off where you just go, there's no trains, is there? If you just filmed them an hour later, they'd be at home watching Holmes Under the Hammer in their pants. Oh, bloody strikes, I can't even get to work.
So, no, I don't know. I think there are very few governments that have managed to make their prime economic region totally grind to a standstill. I mean, there are 300,000 people who can't get to work, they can't get to interviews, they can't get to school, and the Grayling man is saying, well, it's not my problem, I'd love to help. But he's the transport minister. I mean, who else do you think is going to do it? The fat controller?
ASLEF's executive committee earned nearly £250,000 last year. But what figure puts that amount into perspective?
£99 million profit last year, Southern.
It was actually the coin-operated toilets at Victoria train station that makes £1.4 million a year. 50p a go. They cost. Is that worth 50p or piss yourself?
Depends what sort of brown leather trousers you're wearing.
The Southern Railway strike has made life extremely difficult for the ordinary working man and woman, so you can expect the Tory Transport Minister, Chris Grayling, not to give a damn about them. But what's the leader of the Labour Party been doing about it?
I haven't noticed.
He's been meeting up with the union leaders.
He has, and he's been to the train drivers' union Christmas party.
God, he's a member of Wizard. And people are upset because these unions pay a lot of money into the Labour Party. So they're saying his position is already compromised.
Yeah. According to the Times, Rail Union Aslef donated £118,000 to Labour last year. They'd be better off installing some coin-operated toilets, though, wouldn't they, really? Going back to Jeremy Corbyn, what sort of week would you say he's had?
He had a very good PMQs. Yeah. He embarrassed Theresa May. He made a good point about the trains. It's funny how you sometimes agree with people very strongly.
What did he say about the trains?
He said that essentially they should be nationalised since we're all paying through the nose for them anyway and they're utterly useless. Why don't we just take it on board?
Do you agree?
Yeah, no, I'm totally for it. But again, you know, it's one of those things when you find yourself agreeing with Jeremy Corbyn, you think this country is in a mess.
Well, it's actually been a pretty good week for him. Labour were expected to be annihilated in the Sleaford by-election, but they were only slightly annihilated. According to Labour MP Vernon Croker, we're proud of what we did. We kept our deposit, which some people said we were going to lose, and some people said we were going to come fifth. We didn't come fifth. No, they came fourth. They are the Arsenal of politics. The current Labour leadership are often accused of being a bit paranoid, but what was troubling Gordon Brown's inner sanctum in 2005?
Lair?
No.
Press coverage?
They feared they were being spied on by Cilla Black during the 2005 election.
You'd have thought if anyone was going to be an awful spy, it was someone who's most known for presenting Surprise, Surprise. Would have been able to just hold herself from bursting out of the wardrobe. Oh, God, I want to say it.
Theo Bertram, an advisor to Gordon Brown, told the Sunday Times Cilla was a known associate of a major Tory donor and was occupying a flat opposite our campaign headquarters in Victoria Street with sophisticated acoustic surveillance and a high-mag telescope. It would have been possible to eavesdrop and lip-read Labour secrets. The news is really quite depressing at the moment. Who wants to see someone that really actually does enjoy the news?
Yeah.
Here you go. This is the industrial dispute which has led to massive disruption of services on Southern Rail. According to the Daily Mail, Labour has pledged to stand shoulder to shoulder with striking rail workers. So at least they'll know how commuters normally feel. The toilets at Victoria Station cost 50p to use, unless you book online 2 months ahead, when you can get in for 35p. But they still won't guarantee you a seat. And so to round two, the picture spin quiz. Fingers on buzzers, teams.
Scientists have proven that Father Christmas actually exists and he's a real person.
Yes, this is the news that the magic of Father Christmas has been scientifically explained using Einstein's theory of relativity. How do you think Father Christmas is able to visit all the homes he needs to in one single day?
Well,
subcontracts.
According to Dr. Sheen, he needs to travel at 6.2 million miles an hour. Why don't we hear Father Christmas approaching, though?
Because there's a delay, because he's going so much faster than the speed of sound. So you only hear him a year later.
That would still be Christmas Eve, wouldn't it?
Well, apparently, thanks to the Doppler effect, as Santa and his sleigh approach, the sound of bells and his deep ho, ho, ho would get higher and higher in pitch and then completely silent as his voice moves beyond human hearing range. Does travelling at such speed have any other effect on Santa?
Yes, it makes him become a Jehovah's Witness.
He goes from red to green.
Due to the Doppler effect, Father Christmas would also appear to change colour from red to green.
It's all to do with the speed of approach. I've tried it with traffic lights and it doesn't work.
What do 1/3 of office workers in the UK admit to doing at Christmas?
Sleeping with their mother. And how many percentage was it?
1/3.
Oh,
it's
no,
a bit
sorry.
less than
No,
that.
it's less, no.
pulling a sickie to get out of the office Christmas party because they're scared of looking bad on the dance floor. According to the survey, one person claimed they had been bitten by a tiger, while another skipped the party claiming the family goat had gone missing. In other Christmas news, why are snowmen under threat in America?
I don't get it. They should be all right. They're white.
Oh, apparently it's because there's a snowman killer on the loose. Jeff Diggs has installed a 20-foot inflatable snowman in his front garden, but someone clearly wasn't a fan, so drove up in the night and stabbed him. Ooh.
Why was that recorded on the 12th of April? I got to think this whole thing is a bit of a practical joke. There's no snowman on the 12th of April.
And if there was, you're well within your rights to stab it in the middle.
Exactly. Wrong place, wrong time.
Yes, this is a con, isn't it? Because Jeff Diggs, the snowman's owner, has started a GoFundMe page.
Has he?
To cover Frosty's repair bill.
Has he?
Although there are accusations it's nothing more than a slush fund.
That's why I strangled my neighbour's rabbit in September. I said it's not Easter. What are you playing at?
Fingers on buzzers, teams.
They seem to have voted their first Tsar.
Yes, this is the news that the CIA believe Russia interfered to help Donald Trump win the US election. Does anyone know how the Russians were able to access thousands of Democratic emails?
I heard it was Michael Barrymore who was over the road with a telescope.
How did the Donald respond to the claims?
He's discounting the advice from his own organisation, CIA.
Yes.
And he's siding with the Russians on this particular one.
It's going to be interesting 5 years.
Yeah, I don't think we'll get that far.
Trump attacked the CIA and dismissed suggestions of any interference, saying nobody really knows, and hacking is very interesting. They have no idea if it's Russia or China or somebody. It could be somebody sitting in a bed.
I think the interesting thing is that you could have leaked anything about him and it wouldn't have made any difference. Like the Russians could have been the one who leaked that video of him.
Yeah.
To sort of destabilise America, and they would have had to go back and say, leak pussy grab video. They go, we did it, rating went up.
Trump's had a busy week of meetings, so was he finally appointed to be his Secretary of State?
It's Rex Tillerson, isn't it, who's the owner of Exxon, the world's biggest oil and gas company, and is a friend of Russia. And he's appointed Secretary of Energy, who doesn't believe in climate change. He's appointed a Labour Secretary who doesn't agree with the minimum wage. So now he's just got to appoint a health secretary who is a morbidly obese man who died 5 years ago. And then he'll have the full set.
Full team.
Yeah.
When will the coin drop? When will the penny drop of the people who voted for it?
The penny will never drop, though, will it? Because if your whole thing is that it doesn't... Well, they'll just say, oh, well, he couldn't get anything done because of all the, you know, wasps. Or they'll just...
Nobody wants to admit to being duped, because it's a terrible thing. So you say, well, in the end, they'll defend what he's doing, even though it's completely opposite of what they thought he was going to do.
Well, that's cheery.
This is why fake news is so big, isn't it? Because it's better than real news. I usually do about half a paper a day until it gets too depressing, and then I stop. And then you sometimes read online, and there's just a little... I sort of do want to see what the twins from The Shining look like now.
Trump also added a bit of shine to this transition week. Everyone got a bit excited by Trump's meeting with these chaps.
They're a team from Eggheads.
That's the National Border Patrol Council. Sorry, Border Patrol Council. Although someone on Twitter thought it was something far more sinister. Trump really out there having meetings with 4 Lex Luthors. To which another replied, who are these morons? To which the man in the far right of the photo, Sean Moran, replied, it's spelled Moran. Interestingly, if you want to recreate that photo at home, just bear with me a second.
Yeah.
This goes one of two ways.
If you haven't got any money at Christmas, you can still have fun, can't you?
I like bars.
You're not selling them, are you?
It's not just bold people. Which fellow sage did Trump meet this week?
Is it a rapper guy? Kanye West, is it? Kanye West? You met him?
I've never heard
We'll
Kanye
come
West
to that
sound so much
shortly.
like a question before.
I've no idea.
Can you West or can't you? Because you say you can, but I don't know.
Kanye West.
Kanye, is it? Kanye? I've never heard it
Kanye
pronounced.
West.
Something like that.
He's the husband of Kim Kardashian.
Yes, he met the rapper Kanye West, allowing Trump to unleash his not at all awkward alpha handshake. Here they are, parting company.
Kanye, what did you guys discuss in your meeting today?
Just friends, and he's a good man.
Did you
Doing
discuss
well.
possible
Long
cabinet
time.
positions?
We've been friends for a long time.
You guys discuss-
All right, man. You take care of yourself. I'll see you soon. All right?
I mean, who comes out of a meeting and has to say, just friends? What did you discuss in your meeting? I didn't touch his penis, if that's what you mean.
This is CIA claims that Russia interfered in the US election to get Trump into the White House, a claim dismissed by Donald Trump's spokesman with a resounding "niet." One of Trump's controversial appointments is Rex Tillerson, a pro-Putin oil executive who was recently given Russia's Order of Friendship. It's a simple ceremony where Putin orders you to be his friend. Fingers on buzzers, team.
It's the FA's new plan to get girls into football. Pink whistles. It's the only thing been holding the women's game back all these years.
Details of a promotional campaign to encourage more girls to play sport was found on the FA website by a primary school headmistress. What were some of the suggestions?
Bibs that smell nice.
That is actually one, yes.
Yeah. That sounds awful, but it might just mean bibs that have been washed. My experience of sport, that it's a key. Just because I like football doesn't mean I want to smell another man from a week ago. That's a different reason.
Colourful bibs which should be clean and smell nice, and prizes of pocket mirrors and pink wristbands to reward girls for turning up to practice sessions. Where did the FA suggest putting the promotional literature?
Tattoo it on One Direction's forehead?
They suggested places where girls go, like coffee shops or the backs of toilet doors.
On the back of a toilet, are you interested in playing football? I mean, you wouldn't respond to any message on the back of a toilet door, would you?
The suggestions were presented to a girls' under-11 football team in County Durham. What was their reaction?
They thought it was hilarious and said things like, if I want to play football, a mirror wouldn't make any difference.
They thought it was a joke.
Yeah.
One 10-year-old girl said, when we play, we're not worried what we look like or what colour we wear or whether we smell nice. Not like Cristiano Ronaldo, then. Finally, what's Dickie Borthwick looking for?
The office...
Is this your chat-up line?
He's looking for a team to play for. He's 81. Here he is.
So how long has he been going out with the Invisible Woman?
Well, he's too old for veterans football and finds walking football boring. He said, if someone said to me, we have a game tomorrow, I'd be there in a flash. He said, I can do a job down the left flank once every other week. This is the news that the FA have unveiled plans to get more young girls to take up football. One 10-year-old football player, Grace, said, I feel insulted. I don't need a pink water bottle to get me interested. Quite right, Grace. You just need proper football training and a big bag of crisps for energy. Time now for the odd one out round. Paul and Handbag.
Yes.
Your four are John Simpson, Barack Obama, the 17th Earl of Oxford, Edward de Vere, and Beryl Bainbridge.
Ah, Edward de Vere is the only one that's worn Nicky Morgan's handbag as a hat.
Is it Shakespeare? Is it acting?
It's not to do with Shakespeare.
It's not to do with Shakespeare at all?
No, it's a question of red faces.
Red faces. Embarrassment? Embarrassment?
Yes, very much so.
Tell us.
Well, they've all embarrassed themselves in front of Queen Elizabeth II.
Except him.
Except who?
De Vere embarrassed himself in front of Queen Elizabeth I.
No, that's
Yes.
not right, because she wasn't known as Elizabeth I then.
You're quite right.
How did Edward de Vere embarrass himself in front of the Queen Elizabeth? The
Your
queue
Majesty,
overport.
I have presented you with leggings constructed from behind of a cow.
Well, no, a 17th century writer, John Aubrey,
Yes.
recalled that when the
Reflux.
Earl went to bow before his monarch, the Earl of Oxford, making of his low obeisance to Queen Elizabeth, let out a fart. According to Aubrey, he was so abashed and ashamed that he went to travel for 7 years. When he returned
Oh,
after...
you know this one, yeah, it's good.
You know this one,
I do,
yeah. When he returned after 7 years of shame, what did the Queen do?
She said, oh, how good to see you again. We have quite forgotten about the fart.
Yes. Hold my finger.
How did the BBC's John Simpson embarrass himself in front of Queen Elizabeth in the 70s?
Do the same as the other fella.
Well, he let rip, but a different way.
Ripped his trousers.
Aha! Revealing.
Cilla Black.
Surprise, surprise! I don't know, tickled me.
Still a black tickled you.
In a recent interview in The Guardian, John Simpson recounted a meeting with the Queen at an agricultural show in Zambia in 1979. We were late and had to climb over a barbed wire fence which ripped my trousers off, revealing my bright blue underpants. John saw the Queen 2 days later. She said, I've been seeing a lot of you lately.
Cracking sense of
Should get her on the show.
She's been asked.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet.
We asked tonight.
Another 200 quid, we could have got her.
Award-winning author Dame Beryl Bainbridge embarrassed herself in front of the Queen at a 2002 party. Beryl was chatting to another guest and moaned about what a rubbish time she was having, saying, isn't this a boring party? Then she was hastily ushered away and heard to say, was that the Queen? I thought it was Vera Lynn. Barack Obama began proposing a toast to the Queen when the orchestra accidentally started playing the national anthem, believing he had given them a cue, which left Obama talking over it, which is absolute no-no, of course. Let's have a look.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand with me and raise your glasses as I propose a toast. To Her Majesty, the Queen, to the vitality of the special relationship between our peoples, and, in the words of Shakespeare, to this blessed plot, this earth, this realm, this England, to the Queen.
It's actually a
that's the
really good voiceover speech, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
Quite rousing.
It's the British at their most powerful. Nobody said a word.
They have all embarrassed themselves in front of Queen Elizabeth II, apart from Edward de Vere, the 17th Earl of Oxford, who embarrassed himself by breaking wind in front of Queen Elizabeth I. Next year, history is likely to repeat itself when, during a state visit, there will be an even more unsavoury Trump in front of a Queen Elizabeth. According to one historical authority, de Vere was among the first to compose poetry at the Elizabethan court. Amongst his finest work is the couplet, "He who smelt it, dealt it." In 1979, shortly before meeting the Queen in Zambia, John Simpson ripped the backside of his trousers to reveal bright blue underpants. And for a few seconds, his life was in grave danger as Prince Philip grabbed his hunting rifle, shouting, "Baboon!" Ian and John, here are yours. Bill and Melinda Gates, Jane Austen, Graham Andrew, and 18th century cartographer John Spilsbury.
I think this is to do with jigsaws, because Bill and Melinda Gates, they said this week they do jigsaws when they go away on holiday and try and do a jigsaw first.
Did Jane Austen do jigsaws?
I asked the questions,
Oh, yeah.
you give the answers.
Okay, well, let's guess she did. And he did. He's some charity, big, and they're bits of a map missing. Was that the first map that was turned into a jigsaw?
Yes.
They all do jigsaws except the
that-
jigsaw that is one.
No, no.
No.
But you're very close.
They all do jigsaws. Apart from
Except
Jane Austen,
Jane Austen.
who hated them.
I don't know whether she hated them, but she did something else.
Oh, yes, bat and ball. She had that game, didn't she? It just sold in auction this week. She had, yeah, bat and the ball, you know, blum, 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 that one.
Nearly.
Nearly. Was it more like...
Bat and ball.
like that?
They're all jigsaw enthusiasts apart from Jane Austen, so you got that right, who preferred Bilbo Catch to amuse herself. Do you know what Bilbo Catch is?
Like the ice cream cone with the...
Ah, that one, yes. So,
It's a simple game where you try to get a ball on a string into a cup. You think it might be boring, but just look how much fun it is. One of Jane Austen's letters up for auction this week revealed how people used to amuse themselves in the early 19th century. What did the typical weekend consist of?
Jaeger bombs.
It consisted of spillikins, paper ships, riddles, conundrums, cards, and a stroll now and then to watch the ebb and flow of the river.
Yeah.
It's kind of an Ian Hislop theme park. What's the
you have to be this high to ride Ian Hislop.
John Spilsbury created the first ever jigsaw puzzle in 1766 as an educational tool to teach geography. According to Condé Nast Traveller magazine, what does billionaire businessman Bill Gates always take on holiday with him? You'll guess this.
You know, jigsaws.
Yeah.
And sellotape for their glasses.
He goes on holiday with his wife, and they have two identical hand-carved jigsaws worth £12,000. They race each other to complete the puzzles to the soundtrack of The Sound of Music.
Why don't they just admit that the marriage is over and just get on with their lives?
Yeah.
I mean, I would take that as code if my wife ever said to me, why don't we both take our own jigsaws on holiday?
The same jigsaws and compete.
Yeah. Just tell me it's over, love, and I'll wish you all the best. The separate rooms thing at the moment is weird enough, I think. I go with it.
Finally, what disaster recently befell Norfolk jigsaw enthusiast Graham Andrew?
Did he have an epiphany that he's wasting his life?
He spent 2 weeks finishing a world record 21 feet long, 34,000 piece puzzle, only to find there were 4 pieces missing. They'll be in a slipper somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what happens when you buy it at a charity shop.
They are all jigsaw enthusiasts, apart from Jane Austen, who preferred Bilbo Catch. Jane Austen said she enjoyed a number of pastimes, including Bilbo Catch, spillikins and paper ships, which coincidentally are the only live sports the BBC still has the rights to. Inventor of the first jigsaw, John Spilsbury, died in 1769. It was quite a funeral. He was buried in a plain white wooden box with a picture of himself on the lid. And his wife was in pieces.
TJ, yeah, good.
The Queen is sent a jigsaw puzzle every year by the British Jigsaw Library. She starts it on December the 1st and tries to get it done by Christmas Day, when she has to go back to work for 10 minutes. Time now for the Missing Words round, which this week features as its guest publication, Bacon Today. You can find it on the shelves next to Heart Attack Tomorrow. And we start with, what used to be made from cornflakes?
Barry Manilow.
Cilla Black.
It's movie snow.
Good fact.
Yeah.
You'd think they'd use Frosties.
Next, you can tell someone's a bacon addict if what?
They're willing to forgive him for those awful mobile phone adverts.
You can tell someone's a bacon addict if they're wearing a bacon suit. Luckily, bacon addiction is one that can be cured. The real problem...
You're going to be very disappointed with your Christmas cracker joke.
Next, on your next anniversary or any other special occasion, don't get your sweetheart the traditional bouquet of red roses. Get them what?
Pissed.
A large slab of bacon. Shove it through their letterbox. There you are, love dead pig. Is it right?
I don't know, I can't find it. I've lost it. What was that last one? I got it.
Yeah, you got it, great.
I'm back in order.
Glad to hear you.
Whew.
Yeah.
Get them.
Bacon flowers.
Bacon roses.
Bacon roses.
Bacon roses.
Oh, I see.
Smells nice. Next year's big thing is expected to be...
Host on Have I Got News for You that knows what they're doing.
Next year's big thing is expected to be any vegetables as long as they are purple. And finally, Leslie Hazeldine's washing machine does a cracking impression of what?
What noise does a washing machine make, though?
Who's Forsyth?
That's a spin whacker.
Very fast cycle, that one.
Leslie Hazeldine's washing machine does a cracking impression of Danny Dyer. Leslie thinks it's saying, come on then, in a Cockney accent. Shall we have a listen?
Yeah, let's. I want to hear this.
Here we go. Come on then.
Yeah, it's good.
Come on in.
Definitely.
Come on in. Come on in.
Yeah.
The machine has 3 cycles for delicates, woolens and dot cottons. So the final scores are Handbag and Paul 5, Ian and John 5. It's a tie. On which note, we say thank you to our panellists, Ian Hislop and John Richardson, Paul Merton and Handbag. And I leave you with news that the creative team behind Tinder introduced Sniffer, a new dating website for dogs. In Washington, as President and Mrs. Obama share a warm and tender embrace, one embarrassed bystander doesn't know where to look. And after being told to gather promptly at 8 o'clock, staff at the Foreign Office Christmas party begin to wonder where Boris has got to. Good night.
I got 2016 news for you Friday night at 9 here on BBC One. Also looking back at an extraordinary year, Dara and the gang are making merry with the Mock the Week Christmas special, available now on BBC iPlayer.